Hi guys, welcome back to Views with Verse, and I have a special treat for you today. I didn't even advertise it because I'm going to surprise bomb you all. I have the amazing Laura Daligan with me today to talk about some things Morriganic for the blood moon. So
woohoo!
Welcome back, Laura.
Hello, lovely. Hello. Yeah, I definitely am a bomb, if not a surprise bomb today.
We're just
I may
talking
explode
about
any minute.
Yes, the blood moon has been having some interesting effects on everybody.
Yeah.
We were just talking about it actually, so I'll put it out to you guys who will be watching this shortly. How has how has the build up to your blood moon been? Because mine has been interesting.
Yeah.
Everything has been full throttle, and there's been some really amazing, huge opportunities. And then on the other side of it, it's like, I've had 3 hours sleep in 3 days.
Wow, that's great. Oh my god.
And
hello, moon.
Yeah. I'm not a full moon baby anyway. I prefer like new moon energies. Where do you sit at? Do you like kind of like that?
I like the new moon because I'm always a bit cautious with full moon because it can be so I don't really make plans for it because you don't know how it's going to affect you. It's a bit of a wild card, isn't it, with the full moon? And last night everyone's like going, what are you going to do for the blood moon? I was like, I think I'm going to hide. And it was like, do you want to do ritual? I think rituals are last. I mean, being with the people and, you know, I think with some full moons, particularly this one, it's just being respectful of the energy, honouring it, feeling how it's affecting you and being with that rather than trying to do anything. Because I think for me right now, that could be quite dangerous.
Well, I'm doing ritual because I said it was.
Good luck. No. I did think actually before the show, I was like, right, maybe just do some, just in quiet, just because I need to channel this energy somehow. It is a strong energy, but I just didn't want to plan anything and just put pressure on this kind of vibe at the moment.
I've definitely been feeling it as like a Morriganic energy as well, like an overwhelming Morriganic energy as well. It was interesting because someone asked me if I'd do a meditation for them, like a private one-on-one, and if I'd record it. And once I'd recorded that, the energy seemed to siphon off a little. And I was like, did we just siphon off a little Morrigan energy and like push it through to someone else? Because that's what it felt like this. And she took over for them because I had it written down what I was going to say, and she was like, no, we need to go this way more and say this. And I was like, okay. So it's really been really strong Morrigan energy. I don't know how you've been feeling about that too.
Yeah, absolutely. Today, I mean, the thing I have done today is I did a little bit of sort of clearing, but I thought it was maybe releasing pre-Imulk as well. So I've got that Imulk energy tomorrow in the next couple of days. It's felt a very releasing and clearing one. So I thought I'd work on some stuff I wanted to clear. And I had amazing, I mean, I'm moaning and whining about the moon because I've been in a bad mood this afternoon, but because I'd cleared some stuff, really, it's come up to be dealt with. But what I did was I visualized the stuff that I wanted to clear, and I just saw it transform from being a black, heavy, gooey energy to cracking open, and this volcanic energy was flowing underneath it. So I think it's been a hugely powerful one. It's just not particularly pleasant because I'm like feeling this volcanic energy, which is very Morrigan volcano kind of power, this slow fire flowing within me that's maybe been frozen for a little bit of a while. So I'm sure I'll look back and go, wow, that full moon was powerful. But yeah, that feeling of just releasing something and clearing away, it's not particularly pleasant, and it's brought up a lot of anger this afternoon as well. So I'm glad we know what we're doing. I'm glad we know it's a full moon eclipse. If I didn't know, I'd probably be going, oh my god, what is happening?
Yeah, right.
Why on earth am I feeling so angry? But it was really powerful, and I can still feel that. And it's just like, well, I'm interested to where this is going to go, and it is very Morrigan. And yeah, I always find Imulk, though, it's meant to be like a nice, gentle one. I always feel it a real powerful one. I always find Imulk brings huge transformations.
It's interesting because I feel that way about Imulk, and like I feel like that about birth energies in general. And I reshared something I wrote a little while about birth being.
Hello, Star.
Hi,
Star Bottom.
Are you joining in?
Yes, like, I've got something to say. My bottom has something to say.
It's like it's a tough time to be a cat too.
Yeah, it is. I'm sorry. Sorry, you were saying, Beth.
So people talk about like birth energies like it's like gentle and you just step into it, and I was like, isn't birth like one of the most bloody painful experiences that there is? I understand the kind of like, and I feel like we get into this idea of forgetting. And there's a really great Doctor Who quote, which is like the human superpowers forgetting. Because if you didn't forget, you wouldn't have wars and you wouldn't have babies, because it's a traumatic experience at the time, and then you kind of forget that, and it takes on rose-tinted glasses.
Yeah.
And so it's really interesting that we have like all this Morriganic, hey, I'm completely distracted by the superstar now.
The superstar tail. I've shown myself. I've shown my bottom now. We'll go. It's a bit like me, really. Sorry.
Oh no, he's a superstar. We know this happens when I talk to other people too, and the cat's like, "I'm the star."
Yeah,
I'm the star. We're like, we know.
But we're not worthy. We're not worthy. But
so,
I
always find like it can be like really breakthrough, like Imolg energies can be really like breakthrough, and really like that kind of cracking through the egg is not a gentle thing, and like the bursting forth of seeds is not a gentle process. And it's interesting, especially because we've got this blood moon on top of everything, and I've really felt like this blood moon has been a huge gateway that's been dealing with like long-term shadows. So if you've had something that keeps coming up and coming up and coming up, it's like, right, we're going to finish dealing with it now, and it's been like right in your face. And like the hardest lessons of your life to date have been kind of like in everybody's faces right up to the blood moon, which is very Morriganic, like deal with it.
Yes, absolutely. And with eclipses as well, they often like hit a month before and after as well, don't they? And I did feel the beginning of this year, New Year's Eve, was also this energy of, it showed you where this path was going straight away on New Year's Eve. It was shadow, deal with this now. And you could either have gone, poor me, why is this happening? Or, okay, this is a really good chance to really clear this crap out the way once and for all. And thankfully, I did poor me for about a day, and then I went, right, come on.
I mean, I had, sorry for all the guys in the audience, but I had my like monthly cycle bang on midnight, 1st of January, which was the full moon. And so it's coming up to the blood moon. I'm like, I don't need this added stress.
We've got to go with it. We've got to go.
Morrigan, it's all blood all the time, right up to the eclipse. Everything is going to be like blood energy and berserk energy and like this battle trance energy. That's been at the fore recently as well, because that kind of battle trance that comes up in a lot of her mythology, where she like rides her warriors and speaks prophecy through them, has been a big theme leading up to this blood moon. And it's been really surreal for me, because whilst I think about like soul voice and singing and sort of dedicating through spoken word and things, this kind of is different to that for me. And it's been really, really potent, really, really powerful, and like really full on this kind of battle trance singing and things. And I know that you do singing and bring that into your practice in general. So have you found that with trying to record, and if you had any kind of Morriganic interruptions trying to sing?
It's funny. Because I'm trying to record some stuff at the moment. I'm trying to record an album. Sounds so posh, doesn't it? But it's actually really hard, because singing is wild and pure, and trying to put that in a space where it sounds good and sounds neat and tidy has been a complete battle for me in some ways. But yeah, and there is a Morrigan song on there that I was like, there's like, okay, there's plans for it, and it has to be right, and it has to be, and it's just actually, it's a work of ritual, isn't it, planning a song or something for her as well. And I'm quite excited about it, but I know that it's going to be, I've avoided doing it, I've put it off a little bit. And actually it's a thing at the moment that things keep stopping me doing stuff at the moment. I don't know if you've experienced that at the moment, like you want to go full throttle for something, but actually the universe is stopping you and holding you back quite a bit at the moment as well. So I think people, for me anyway, like with the music and everything, I've been really held back. So I just feel like, because I'm very Aries, I want to do everything yesterday, I've experienced a lot of just wait with this energy. You've got to stay in this energy. You've got to I do feel like you were saying this is a real chance to clear it out once and for all, and therefore we keep getting put over the same things over and over again. But yeah, there's a Morrigan song coming on the album. I think all the songs are kind of her in different aspects or different healing aspects. They're all very wintry songs, and they're all kind of sacred but emerging songs. So I'm really excited about doing it, but I just find it really hard to do it so wild and free and make it into a compartment and that the people are going to like. With art, I find that easier, I think, but maybe it's I'm used to doing art. But with music, I find it really a bit of a challenge, probably because I'm not a great guitar player as well.
Oh, I've heard some of your stuff. It's beautiful.
Oh, thank
So
you.
I'll look forward to hearing full-on Morriganic songs. But
Yeah, we've got crow recordings, we've got hittings. I want to make it properly. It's got to be properly going there, hasn't it? And that's gonna be quite trance-like. And I think, yeah, that'll be fun. I mean, fun in a kind of terrifying way.
And it kind of needs to be it, because Morrigan definitely, she has that primal kind of like heartbeat undertone to her all the time, and I don't think I don't know how to put it. You know how you synthesize sometimes music and it's quite like lighter and like more organized. I don't think that is going to work. It's going to, for Morrigan, it's got to be like pulsing and deeper and crow noises and
I want it to be like the beat to be almost like the galloping hooves, and then there's got to be that race of life, hasn't it? I think that so I'm quite excited about the ideas of it. But then this year has been a bit so far. It's been only a month. I can't quite believe it, because it's actually been so sort your shit out month and get and don't hide behind stuff and don't pretend you can't do it because you've got to do it now. And that's what it feels like. And I like that, but I don't like it when I'm being pushed. But I like it when it's all going. I get it. But
I've had in the last week even, I've been pushed into these opportunities which looking back at it, I was like, okay, I can see how I actually have been building on my body of work to get to that point. But it kind of felt like kind of out of left field for me. And it was like, here's your opportunity, bang, do it. And I was like, and I was like, are you going to help me with this? And Morrigan's like, no, you can do it yourself. Like, pull yourself up from your power and do the thing. And I did, and it worked out. So that's amazing.
That's exciting.
That's the other side of this blood moon energy is everything's kind of like, it's gone from being sludgy at the start of the year to like full throttle in the space of 3 days. And it's like, what's going on?
You just surrender and go, okay. But I like it. Like, the whole thing is, I think you're right. It's and I was getting this reminding to recommit to myself, because I get sidetracked, and your old habits are so hard to shake, aren't they? And they come up in really sneaky ways, like helping other people, doing this, and it's just like a recommitting every day almost at the moment to recommit to doing what you're meant to be doing and to honouring yourself and your path. And it's weird, isn't it? For me, I find that the hardest thing sometimes is to re-honour, to remember that I am in my power, that I am doing this. And so far this year, it's like been a almost daily thing to remember that and to recommit to what I'm doing and not get sidetracked or distracted or put back in stuff. So yeah,
absolutely. I talk with 1 or 2 ladies in depth about Morrigan work most of the month. And one lady was like, can you write me out some ideas for the blood moon? And I was like, and channel Morrigan and do all of that. I was like, okay, we can do that. And basically the messages that were coming forth was all about like, who are you? And not just who are you, but who are you? And it was like at core, and then taking up your power, taking up your space, not being afraid to want the things that you want, but realizing that you have to put 110% into it at the same time. So it's kind of like this, what's in your blood, and then like bleeding for it. So to put it in like a blood moon analogy, and Morriganic work is often like in your veins, in your blood, like deep calling. And it's definitely been all of that. So it's kind of been like, you need to deal with the things that are really holding you back now. So know those shadows that have been going on for years, they need to be dealt with now. This is and I've been for the last 3 weeks, the same little things that irritate me over and over and over again have been coming up time and time again. It's like, have you learned to deal with this yet? Have you learned to deal with this yet? I'm like, can we stop this?
I know, it's been crazy. It's almost been like hilarious. I almost think it's like a sitcom, but not very funny. Because it's just like, I almost tell my friends, like, wow, every bit that could trigger me, or every boundary, because I'm really rubbish with boundaries sometimes. I'm having to learn that one hugely. But it's like been tick box. This is and it's been like one thing after another. Like you're saying, it's almost comedy. Like, oh right, now this, okay, But it's really clear, isn't it? No one's being subtle this year. I like it, basically. It's not pretending, because I think last year was such a strip away year. It was such a okay, we're taking you to this level where you can build yourself back up again, but now you're given the chance to do it, and it's like, oh, it's happening now. Oh shit, right, okay.
And it's really in stark contrast to last year, because last year was a slow build all year, I feel like, and this January, like in my business alone, like I've completely relaunched the store. I've got my first book that's on the way, and then there's things happening behind the scenes with that, with a publishing house maybe.
Exciting.
And like opening myself up to working with a big group of people, and then there's the podcast, and there's the everything, and it's everything all in one go in January. Go. Like, it's really weird because last year was like, we're going to have some change, and then we're going to change, and then we're going to build up, and we're going to build up, and you're going to do the groundwork, and you're going to do the foundations. So you're expecting that to carry on, and no, it was like boom, gateway, January, all in your face, deal with everything. And it's been hugely stressful on one hand, and hugely rewarding on the other. So it's no middle measures.
No, that's what I remember. January 2018, no half shots. Take it, do it, down it.
Basically, yeah.
Or just go home, like, you know, that's just like, don't even bother, you know. And I'm just like, it's quite exciting in that way, what's going to be next, really. You see, I've already feel like just talking, like the anger I've had all day has sort of shifted a bit. It's exciting. This is this weird eclipse energy, isn't it? Things come up and they go, oh, you know, and they kind of turn something else. So I feel like all day things have come up and been transformed, and it is a powerful time, and I'm excited about the next. But yeah, it's better than early on. I was trying to kill everybody, so it's okay.
Do you have any idea where you'd like to go next? Have you got any?
Yeah, that's a good thing, isn't it? Like, well, I've had so many projects on the back burners, and this is the thing. I can be this comfort zone, and then all the projects I've got are just over the comfort zone. So I'm just kind of like, literally, I'm fine being on TV, I'm fine talking, but actually putting my work out there and publishing and things like that has actually been quite terrifying for me in some ways. But so yeah, I've got my Oracle deck, which I really would love to. This year has to come out. It has to. I can't keep sitting on it and talking about it for years on end. I'm like, this year it has to come out, and whatever form it takes. And I've got other things that are coming from that, but I've just got to kind of push beyond that little barrier I've put myself in. But I think the important thing, I think, for me at the moment is to just witness and recognize my own power and not hide. And that's for everybody. That's not just for me. Everyone thinks I do, like I'm Swara, but actually, you know, we all have our little boxes to keep ourselves in, don't we? And this is for everyone. This is to witness our own power and to really own it, because the crap that keeps happening is because we're not owning it, isn't it?
Yeah. And I wonder if last year was more like a bury the head in the sand kind of year, because it felt a little bit like that. And then this year we're already being challenged to step out and see what we stand for and really stand for it.
Yeah.
And for me, I mean, I never even considered the option of not engaging with this energy as it descended upon me. I was like, okay, we're going to do all the things. And it's kind of earth sign took over, like we're gonna slog through this one way or another, we're gonna get and we did. And just about teetering over the insane workload that came in 3 days, and it's not done yet. We're not done yet, but we're almost there.
Yes.
So it's interesting, because I feel like, I don't know if following the Morrigan anyone would ignore those energies, because you kind of get used to this is her pushing you, and you know not to resist it. And I wonder how many people would actually resist that energy. I don't know.
I think it'd be quite a hard day for people if they do resist it. I think it's quite a hard day, but I think you can take the Leo moon as well, isn't it? I almost was like, my opinions, like earlier on. It's like, no one needs to know. You know, you're gonna realize me being an asshole in the full moon. I was like, just shut up, Laura. You know, it feels like very Leo. I feel this. It's like, okay, that's very nice. Just calm it for a minute.
I've definitely had moments today where I've had opportunities to, like, when is your voice merited versus when do you just walk away from it? Yeah. So in my birth chart, I have a lot of Leo, but people wouldn't know. So the top 3 are all earth signs. So like my rising and my sign and my moon are all earth signs. Everything just about underneath is fire. Most of it is Leo. So all my like underneath planets are having a song and dance right now. Like Mars and Venus are like in the blood moon. But it's like I was faced this morning with this guy who started off, and he it was something I was tagged on and people were talking about it, and it had a feminist kind of slant, and he started underneath talking about when women falsely accuse men of attacking them, and when women can get somebody fired for touching their shoulder as a doctor or something. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, that's not what women are worried about. Are you kidding?
My shoulders are very sensitive, but I
was like, that's not what sexual harassment is there to prevent. And he was coming out with the weirdest arguments you've ever seen in your life. And I was like, is this for real? And I was like, do you know any of the statistics about like the underreported nature of actual sexual assault versus the figures of false reporting? Because false reporting is around depending on the country, it's around 2 to 4% of all of it, and then like there's 66% going unreported, roughly speaking. I was like, have you seen it? And then he was just going on about everybody should be born from a test tube, and at that point I was like, okay, it's not worth my nope.
Step away from the crazy. And I think you're going to realise when your anger is going to be channeled in a good way, and when it's just going to cause either waste of energy or a complete explosion, which I think is tonight or today could be quite one. We could be, there's channeling energy in a positive way, isn't it? And I think, that's been a big one today.
And for Leo, I think the most positive energy that we can take from it is learning to own our stage.
Yeah.
Without kind of being arrogant about it. I think there's that balance. It's like I can own my own stage without shunting somebody else off their stage. Kind of.
Off my stage.
Off my stage. Out. just a little broom.
And also it's the heart, isn't it, Leo? I think the lion heart. And actually to get through this without going crazy is just to really go from that fire heart, that warm heart, and radiate that in it. I mean, I'm thinking of radiating right now. It could really be more like a laser beam right now, but I think actually going from that place, because that feels that feels a good place to be in this blood moon, like a big hearted, fiery, warm place, rather than you did this and now I'm really annoyed, which you could really get into.
Yeah, the focus I think is much better if you put it into terms of what am I passionate about, and what really matters to me on like a heart space level, like what really matters, not what I'm being told should matter, not what I think matters, but what really truly matters in my heart. And some people struggle with this because obviously they see it as a selfish thing, they see it as a self-introspection thing, and I think a lot of us are taught to not have personal boundaries and are taught to kind of serve other people a lot of the time. A lot of us struggle with the kind of, well, what is it that I want? And I was kind of faced with that kind of question maybe a week or two ago, and like, what are you actually really truly passionate? Where do you really want to go? What do you really want from your career, from your life, from your love life, everything? I was like, I don't know.
I want a nap now, please.
I would like more than 3 hours sleep. That would be great.
That would be fab. Absolutely. I had something to say, my brain's melted, but never mind. I felt like I had a really good thing to reply, but no, it's gone. It'll come back if it was important.
That's the
brain is very melting today.
That's the moon as well. That's
it. It's come back. Thank you, the moon. And I don't know if you felt it today, but today I've been so channelly, so aware of what energy wise, when you open up, it was like the voice was the voice is very clear of intuition and what needs to be done today. And what's right and what's not has been really hugely driven today. So that's a good thing about this. And it's trusting the inner voice, isn't it? And trusting that's going to be a big thing for this year as well. And it's interesting you said about that, because I was thinking, I did a reading for someone earlier, I put in it about being full of yourself, and I realized what a bad connotation being full of yourself is. Everyone goes, oh, you're so full of it. Like, how can it be bad to be full of you? How can being your life, being full of all your awesome, amazing, powerful things in any way be bad? But we're like, oh, you're so and I was like, I was trying to say in the reading, like, no, you need to fill yourself up full of you, because otherwise, like what you said, we become sabotage with the people, our boundaries are totally crap, because we're like, I don't know what I am, I don't know where I am and where this is. But if you fill yourself up with this power and this beauty, it's not selfish, it's just making you absolutely a vessel that's full of awesome. And so I'm really reclaiming being full of yourself, I think, for this year as well.
It can have a domino effect as well, because it can be really inspiring. So if we're really concerned about the way that we're being perceived, or the influence and effect we're having outside of ourselves, we have to remember that sometimes being in of ourselves, being full of ourselves, sometimes is exactly what the people around us actually need, whether they think they want it or not. So there's often a resistance when you're completely in your own power, because people are afraid of it, because you're living your own dream, and people are, wish they could, and they're jealous, or there's all sorts of different layers to why people are like, are you sure you want to do that? But I think that's going to be this whole year, is like this trust in who we are and how we came to be here and where we're going and what we have to give. So I feel like trust is a big word for a lot of people this year. And not now, but I think it will be the whole year.
I think so too. Woohoo! It's gonna be good. It's gonna be terrifying, but it's gonna be good. I think last year was a warm up. It was just like, and if we didn't learn the lessons from last year, I think it would be troublesome. But I think boundaries are going to be huge as well, and not pushing people away, but I think just really knowing what you will not put up with and what's really right for you is going to be a big one as well. People will be cray-cray.
I am always careful when I talk to people about the boundary talk, because I think there is, especially in pagan circles, there's kind of a tendency to be like, oh, the minute you see toxic behavior, cut and be done. And I'm like, I'm always on the two fences, because I'm like, don't put up with people being abusive. No. And someone's like constantly doing things and they're taking away from you, and then maybe you need to think about that. But have anybody had a conversation with each other with each other first, kind of thing? Are they having a bad day, maybe? Have you had a sit down conversation, and have you talked about, and I think honesty is the other side of something. And it's interesting with regards to Leo energies, because either the honest energy gets like full on out there, or we get much more of the showman, and then the honesty kind of takes a back seat to the showman energy, rather than, oh, I'm not going to talk about the difficult things, I'm just going to be in your face and of it, that kind of thing. And it's been that real kind of push-pull coming up into this eclipse energy, and it's like challenging you to be truthful, not only with yourself but out in the world.
No, totally. And I really feel what you're saying about this blocking out negative energy thing. I kind of feel there's a lot of stuff out there about narcissism and naming and shaming, and they're bad. And it's just like, we could go off a little icy tower and tell everyone to F off and hide from our own stuff, because we're probably, we're being faced with these situations because we haven't dealt with it within us, isn't it, really? So I'm going to say they're this, and then therefore I'm going to cut them off and go away. And actually that's not what, as you say, I'm not up for being a lamb to the slaughter to someone that's going to treat you badly. But I definitely feel like, as you say, just talk to people. People are pretty, they can get in that way because they're feeling isolated and hurt. And it's not your job to heal them, but it's maybe your job to go, okay, I might just talk, as you say, just maybe deal with this in a human adult way, rather than, well, I've Googled this and it says you're this person and I'm going to therefore cut you out. And I feel that it's interesting to be educated about people's personalities and disorders and all that kind of thing, very much so. But it's a bit dangerous with sort of playground psychology, naming and shaming, because you don't want to face certain things. I think it's a bit of a narrow line, isn't it, really? I see that a lot, like, they're this, they're that, they're bad, never talk to them again. I'm like,
See, the narcissism thing it really bothers me every time it starts coming out, because it's always a narcissist versus empath.
Yes, that annoys me.
It's people versus people. So it's, rather than being inclusive, rather than being understanding, I'm like, so you're saying that these people are empaths, so empathetic, and then the whole behavior that you're suggesting is not to be empathetic to anyone involved. Plus, I don't think it's a good idea for us all to be diagnosing people as narcissists. I think maybe leave that to the psychologists, because the problem is that narcissism, what narcissism really is a condition. And saying that people exhibiting certain shitty behaviors makes them a narcissist is really dangerous, because everybody on the planet exhibits shitty behavior at some point or another. Like, we've all been selfish, we've all been mean, we've all been snapped at someone just because we're having a really bad day, and it doesn't make human beings a narcissist. Like,
no, exactly.
It's not helpful.
It isn't, and yeah, I really get a bit. Yeah, I get quite annoyed at it. Also because it makes you, it's sort of victiming, isn't it? They're this and they did this. It's like, oh, for God's sake.
It is really disempowering as well. Like the people who are empathetic are then like natural victims in that as well, which is like, so these people, they can't stick up for themselves, or they don't have the ability to. What are we saying in that scenario? That's a bit, I don't know, it kind of depowers everybody in the whole situation.
It really does. And you're never going to heal or deal with it, because you're saying, I'm the victim, they're obviously a bit clinically whatever, therefore I'll run away and bitch about them, and you can't heal a situation. So again, I know it's very delicate sort of, and there are situations where abuse and manipulation happens and all this kind of thing.
There are, yeah.
And definitely that's, but if you can just, be compassionate to you, be compassionate to them. Don't put up boundaries. Again, don't put up with behaviour that's going to be damaging to you, but maybe look at why you've attracted it, and look at what they're suffering with as well, what's going on for them. And rather than blaming and then no one's going to heal, we're just going to go round and round and round in a circle. And
I think this is true with the Morganic path, this is true of the energies right now, but there is a big emphasis on kind of like choice. I'm not ever going to tell somebody that like they got into a really terrible situation and that's their own fault.
No way. I don't
believe in victim shaming or anything like that. But I feel like at every given point you will be presented with choices, and given how you choose in the situation, you can either allow a situation to continue or you can take action to change the situation. Now the change might be ending the situation full stop, and to anybody who's in an abusive situation, I highly suggest taking steps to getting away and out from that situation, depending on what's available to you and so on and so forth. I know it's a difficult one, but there's always that kind of choice. And I think like the blood moon for me has been like a big focus on the power of choice. Like giving you opportunities, but the choice has been completely in your ballpark. And if you've gone for these things, your life has just started to change in ways you didn't expect. And then if you don't go for them, I guess, I don't know, because I went for them, but I guess that is kind of like a status quo thing. So have you found that this blood moon?
Choice is a huge one, isn't it? And actually it's not a choice anyone else can make for you either. And I think, people could be very vocal about advice and stuff, and that's always lovely, but it's definitely the trust, the inner voice, those themes keep coming up, don't they? And you have to go as Fleetwood Mac say, go your own way really with this, and and really listening to that was because I have gone for a few things already. It's been like a vortex. It's been like a year and a month, hasn't it, really? It's felt like that. Crazy. And go for that healing, or go for that, I'm open to this, I'm going to do it. But it's not, I think I also feel like you make a couple of steps forwards and you get with another choice and you're like, oh, okay, let's choose again. Oh God. I chose yesterday.
That was my yesterday, like, would you be interested in doing this thing and this thing, and how would you do it? And I was like, yes, and I would do this and do this, and okay. And then half an hour later, would you also be interested in doing this different thing that you could also do, and it will take time and effort and things and do it, but it would it would be a huge victory in your court card. Yes, I would also do that. And I can, in my head, I'm like, I must get everything done that I need to be doing before this starts. The list in my head of things that needs doing, that needs doing, and I've actually got to the point where I need a planner. I can't resist the planner anymore.
No, plan it up, baby. And make it. I've done it. I've done a year or two avoiding diary planners, because and then this year's like, no way, you just need to. And it's also, it makes it exciting as well, doesn't it? I think like you can make a planner in a way where you can see all the awesome things that are coming in for you. But I did avoid the planner for a year or so. And maybe because I didn't need to, because life was going to do its own thing anyway, whatever I planned for a couple of.
That's how I feel about it. The minute I get a planner out, life takes a U-turn and it's like, nope.
How about you sit down?
But it's so that we recommend a planner for this year, guys.
Because I've done 2 years. I used to be a plannerholic, then I just stopped, and then this year it was like, oh right, let's do this, let's really plan it. And I think you need to, because I think focus is going to be quite important for this year, keeping your focus. If your planner is just like keeping you in a good space and reminding you of your goals, then, because I'm doing that at the moment, because I do feel those, as you said, like those hugest wounds and core wounds or issues are going to keep coming up to make sure you've really dealt with them. So I find them very distracting. It's like, no, come on, you're doing this year. Do not let this swerve you. You're doing this year. So yeah, plan it up.
I mean, journaling and things can obviously help people when with the big shadow work, but I really do feel like as we step through this moon, it's kind of going to be a choice to leave that big shadow in the past or not. I feel like that is a choice. You're going to be confronted with it, and it's like either we deal with it and we talk about it and we push past it, or it's going to just keep going.
Absolutely. I think it wasn't what I thought it was going to be either, you know, like I thought, okay, that's what I'll be dealing with this year and that's how it's going to be, but actually it's lovely because it's not, but it's more complex, isn't it? That's why I thought this will be this, I've been leaving that behind. Painful but simple. Oh no, it's more weaving around, and I love it. I think it's a very fascinating year so far, and this blood moon, as you keep saying, you're stepping through it. It kind of feels like we are literally stepping through it into and leaving a lot of stuff behind, and then stepping into Imbolc and stepping into that purification with Bridie and Bridget and Morrigan,
which we'll need, I think.
Because Morrigan's here today, and then maybe Bridget will come around tomorrow.
She'll be like, come on, I'll cleanse you off after
you're like literally like going
have a nice soothing milk bath.
We'll need it.
I think we will. Absolutely. So we're hitting on about the 40-minute mark, which is about when Zoom will start being like, I'm going to cut you off now. So I will just sort of round it up. So thank you very much for coming and talking to me.
Oh, it's been lovely. I could talk all day.
Is there anything you'd like to let people know about that you've got coming out, or projects you've got coming up, or things that people can come find you at or see you at, that sort of thing?
Oh, yes. If you want to keep in contact with me, go to our website, Daligan.com, and I've got if you're interested in power animals and really connecting with your power animals and your totem energy, I'm running my Totems Awakening course again, but I've rebooted it and revamped it. I've really got properly, let's get in there and let's get deep with this work with our totems. So that's coming in April. But if you want to, I do courses on fairies and goddess energy and really awakening those energies within ourselves. So if you come and find me on my website, you can see when they're going to happen. But the next one is a totem one, and I think I really want to get at the power animals because I think they can really help us to purify, to be our true primal selves, and to get shit done in all the worlds, not just this world.
So I will endeavour to remember, because my memory is not the best at the best of times.
You've had 3 hours sleep in 3 days. It's okay.
But I will endeavour to remember to put Laura's links down below. So if you haven't seen Laura's website and where have you been, if not, then it will be down below for everybody else. And there'll be things coming up that I can't quite announce just yet for me, but if you haven't already, go check out the new website, because we are now over at www.starryeyesupplies.com, and it's a completely new website, and everyone's saying it's much more you, Joey, and I'm like, thank the maker.
Okay, I need to I've been doing my tax return. I haven't looked yet, so now my tax return is done. I will look at your website.
Priority. I gotta get the tax.
I was like, this has to be done. But now I can have, I'll check your website out. Yay.
So thank you so much for joining me again, and have an absolutely amazing blood moon. And
I know, right?
Thank you guys for watching this interview. I hope you enjoyed it, and many blessings.